Hi guys, it's Hani here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm teaming up with Sugarveil. I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful meringue wreath for holidays. We're going to dress it up with Sugarveil icing decorations. Sugarveil products used in this video are available to purchase at Michael's stores nationwide. Sugarveil icing is low sugar, gluten-free and kosher. And here are the mats that you can purchase at Michael's. I will be using 3 of these mats. Sugarveil icing comes in 2 flavors, chocolate and vanilla. Today I will be using vanilla icing. When making the icing, always follow the directions on the packaging. And if you have some leftover icing, you can cover it with plastic wrap and store it in a refrigerator for up to 10 days. Before using though, you have to let it come to room temperature and rebeat the icing for about a minute. I will also be using a spreader. I like to use this tool to spread the icing evenly over the mat, and then also a fin tool. Here is a beautiful leaf topper mat that I will be using, and also I'm gonna use a doily mat and a brooch. On hand, I would suggest that you have a little pouch with cornstarch, some water, damp paper towel and a clean kitchen towel. Now we are ready to make the decorations. Prepare the icing. Dust the Sugarveil mats with cornstarch, then remove the excess. Use the spreader to spread the icing evenly, and then we're gonna bake it. I'm going to bake it at 200 degrees of Fahrenheit for about 5 to 6 minutes until no longer sticky to the touch. Then we're going to wipe the mats with a damp paper towel. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, depends on the humidity, and once you see the leaves are separating from the mat, you can remove them from the mat. To give the leaves a little sparkle, I'm going to use pearl luster dust, silver luster dust and blue luster dust. I'm using food only paintbrush. I'm also going to show you how to make a two-tone lace. Dust the mat with cornstarch, remove the residue and spread white icing using the spreader. I'm going to bake it at 200 degrees of Fahrenheit for about 9 to 10 minutes until no longer sticky. Once baked, wipe the whole mat with a clean, damp paper towel, color some of the Sugarveil with blue food coloring, and spread an even coat over the white. I am going to bake it again at 200 degrees of Fahrenheit for about 8-9 minutes until again no longer sticky. Once baked, I'm going to use clean, damp towel again, and I'm going to run it especially around the edges because that's where the lace can dry out quicker. And then once you can separate the lace from the mat, remove the mat from the lace, not the lace from the mat. Always remove the mat from the lace. Trim the edges, and now you're ready to use your beautiful two-tone lace. I ended up making another lace with doily mat, and I'm going to use this one to make the bow. I'm trimming the lace to make it smaller, to make it fit better on my meringue wreath, so I'm trimming the ends. I'm going to fold it in half to find the middle. Using just a little bit of water, glue the pieces together, shape both ends and also shape the center. This is the same technique I would use for the fondant bow or a gum paste bow. To shape the loops so they keep open, I'm going to stick 2 pieces of plastic wrap, and I'm going to let it dry like that. Now all we have to do is make the centerpiece. So I'm going to trim some leftover lace. I'm going to fold the edges, use a little bit of water for the glue, and then you just have to shape it around the bow like this. Use the water to glue it together. Hold it with your fingers for a few moments, and then your bow is ready. You can set it aside. Another decoration that I made were these cute little white chocolate stars. So I melted some white candy melts and I spread the chocolate over the brooch silicone mat, let it harden, and then remove the mat from the chocolate. To cut through the chocolate, you kind of need to heat the cookie cutter. I ended up using flame. It works really well. It cuts through the chocolate and it's easy to remove the star from the cutter. Gather up the scraps and reserve them for later. I'm also going to dust my chocolate decorations with pearl luster dust, silver luster dust, and also some blue luster dust. And now we're ready to make the meringue. I'm using egg whites, granulated sugar, a little bit of salt, cornstarch, and vanilla extract. I'm going to heat the egg whites with granulated sugar and salt over a pot with simmering water. Whisk it until all of the sugar is dissolved. You can tell that the sugar is dissolved by rubbing the mixture between your fingers. If no longer grainy, you can remove it from the heat and we can beat the meringue or egg whites on high until we have a thick meringue formed. Then I'm going to add cornstarch, beat the cornstarch in, and also don't forget the extract. Once you have stiff peaks formed, we can start piping. So I already prepared my wreath template. I just used a plate and a pencil. Make sure that you flip the parchment over so you're not piping on the pencil itself. I'm using a large star piping tip. My meringue wreath has two meringue layers. Bottom layer is super simple. I'm just going to pipe rounds like this. The top layer, I wanted to make it a little prettier, so I decided to add some holly leaves, and I used the leaf piping tip to make the leaves. So this is the bottom layer. We are done with this layer. For the top layer, you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna switch the piping tips, and now we're gonna pipe the leaves. I'm going to pipe leaves in two directions. So once I get to the middle of the donut shape or the wreath shape, I'm going to change the direction and we're gonna pipe the leaves the other way. I'm going to bake both of these meringue wreaths at 200 degrees of Fahrenheit for about 3 hours. I'm going to turn off the oven then, and I'm gonna let them cool in the oven. Once baked, you should be able to remove the parchment paper, and I'm going to store them in an airtight container with a little bowl of rice. You can prepare meringue layers up to 3 days ahead. Store them like this and you should be fine. I'm going to fill my meringue wreath with delicious whipped cream filling. You can find a recipe on my blog. I like to use heavy cream, Greek yogurt, powdered sugar, vanilla, and little bits of chocolate. I decided to pair my whipped cream filling with raspberries, and I'm topping it with more whipped cream filling. Take the holly leaf meringue layer and put it on the top, and now we can decorate the top with fresh raspberries filled with ganache, or you can just use melted chocolate. And then you can also add those beautiful Sugarveil decorations we prepared earlier. And that's how you can make this dressed up meringue wreath dessert for holidays. It's super easy to beautify any dessert with Sugarveil lace. Lace makes everything prettier. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.